Virgo, welcome to a manifestation reading for the month of August 2021 and the Lionsgate portal, which happens to be the new moon in Leo. It's Rena here, and I actually did this before, but as a couple of people pointed out to me, there was no sound. So when I went back, I erased the video. So there you go. But that's okay because I still had the cards laying out on the table when I came back from dinner. So it's all good. So this is a slightly different spread than I usually do, but I just wanted to do a little video for August that was focused on a particular area. So it's like, what do you want to manifest that is connected to the Leo full moon falling on the Lionsgate portal, which is supposed to be a very auspicious time. So the card in the center is your heart's desire. And this is the Queen of Wands. I'm sorry if it's not really, it seems like it's not really sharp and focused, but you know, sometimes it happens. And this card is supposed to be connected to Sagittarius, and I connected to Leo because of the sunflower, and Leo is ruled by the sun, but also the fact that she's wearing a yellow outfit, that gold, and it reminds me of the sun, and the cat is, you know, like the feline, the lion. That reminds me of Leo. And you know, the three top cards are all fire cards. Then we have at the bottom 2 swords. And so what I feel, this is all masculine energy. The swords represent air and the wands represent fire. And Virgo is an earth sign, which is a feminine sign. And so for some of you, you may be wanting to step into a more, I was going to say assertive position somewhere, like if it's at work where you're in a supervisory position where you know, the queen or the king to me represent the higher ups. And anything, you know, more authoritative, I think that was the word I was looking for, position. Virgo, for me, tends to be very humble, unassuming, and willing to do, you know, willing to do what other people, clean up other people's messes, basically, in terms of, you know, being the support rather than taking the lead. The fire element is really connected with the self, and that means, and also like expansion and things like that, and self-empowerment. So having more of that type of, and also ambition. So that might be something that is in the back of your mind. Now, if you're like, because I have the moon in Virgo and I'm like, oh, hell no, I would never want to be in a position of authority because I don't want to tell people what to do. People hate being told what to do. And I just don't want to, you know, have any part of that. But for those of you who are like me in that regard, this may just be your own sense of autonomy. Maybe it does involve working for yourself. How the universe supports you. We have the Knight of Wands. This is another card that's associated with Sagittarius. And so Sag, obviously could be a person in your life, a younger male, somebody who is perhaps, if they're not young in age, they're young in spirit and kind of bold, a fire sign like Sag, Aries, Leo, who isn't afraid of taking chances and what have you. But I feel like this can be somebody who brings out those qualities within you because you emulate them. The Knight of Wands is very experimental, isn't afraid of trying something new. And so this might be a sibling, somebody who, a friend who is your biggest cheerleader and tries to get you to see that you can do something because they have that expansive outlook. Virgo people tend to talk themselves out of things because you can always find the flaw. That's your specialty, is finding the flaw in anything. And the key is to be able to find the blessing in something, especially if you know that you're ready to move out of a certain situation. So the first order of business that you may decide to do is Page of Wands. Start spreading the news. This is a card of positive communication or even receipt of positive communication. So it might not be what you're doing, but what you're getting, the first thing. And this, I would say, especially if you're trying to manifest something, because that's what this reading is all about, it starts with thoughts and what I would say affirmations. Pages are messages, but we don't always just give messages to others. We give messages to ourselves. And so whenever we think something, if we tend to be on the pessimistic side, if we tend to downgrade our own abilities, these are negative messages that we are giving to ourselves. Even when you're talking to others about your life, are you talking in the affirmative? The wands, the fire element is very positive. And it's coming from, because it is expansive. Fire is expansive, so it can always seek growth or is seeking growth. This can also be a situation where you are, as part of manifestation, is feeling the feeling first before, like how, I forgot what they call, like Abraham Hicks. There's like, you generate the feeling of, what it would feel like to have this goal come true. And then that's supposed to aid in the manifestation. So with the Page of Wands, it's that sense of like this new creation of yours that makes you feel a sense of joy, that makes you feel like you have a spring in your step, that you're kind of a kid again. Page is youth. And with Wands, it's that, like if somebody's has some kind of an endeavor, it's the early stages of it, and it makes them, with the Page, it's like they're very excited about the fact that they're doing something new that they haven't, they don't know what's going to happen, but it feels like a new adventure for them or something like that. And so, like I said, the top three cards are all wands. So perhaps part of this, and we are in Leo season, so that is connected to the wands being a fire sign. But for you, Virgo, this new moon is happening, and the Lion's Gate on the same day is happening in your 12th house. And so, and I'm acting like it changes from year to year. This is the only reason that there's a particular significance is the fact that the new moon is falling on the Lion's Gate 8/8 portal. But this is in your 12th house, and the 12th house is the final house, but it's also the, you could call it like the staging area for the next cycle, which begins on your solar return, or you could say the new moon in Virgo on the 6th of September. So between August and September, what are the things that you would like to birth? It may be something that is a much more internalized thing. Maybe it's more confidence, a sense of greater assertiveness, where you ask for what you want. That's a possibility. A sense of more autonomy if you have felt dependent. Now, one thing I didn't state is the Queen can be the mother. The Queen of Wands is like the mother who also has a career. So, the career mom. And obviously, if you're a male, I would say it's the balancing of the male-female energies, and perhaps it's the man who is staying home with his children. But it could be some kind of a thing with wanting children. Who knows? And we actually have another queen here. So I have, the energy coming in, the Queen of Swords. Usually this kind of card speaks about a decision that has to be made. And the decision, the swords represent the air signs. And so the air element is about detachment. And I always lump the air and the earth, like your element, together because they tend to both as elements be detached compared to the fire and water signs, which are more passionate and emotional. There's this real emphasis with the air on logic and the intellectual forces. But the other thing that I can see here too is a very sharp meaning, and that's part of detachment too, of being able to cut something off, not allowing something to linger. So maybe there's a decision that you have to make about which direction you're going to go in. And I do believe with manifestation that the more indecisive you are, the harder it is to really manifest, because you're kind of torn. Your energies are like being divided instead of this unified field. And so I really want to encourage you to take time out in the beginning of August and really envision what your next move is, because you may find that when you have your solar return in September, that you have a game plan, that there's something that you would like to do. And this is like the time when you can really, strategize before the actual new cycle begins. The outcome is the Knight of Swords, and this is, I would say, like almost like a fearlessness. I did do this, like I said, I didn't have sound before. And how I interpreted it a little bit differently when I did it the first time around. And basically what I was saying is that if you have been kind of languishing at, in your current occupation, in your current place of employment, and you haven't been given your props, like I would say the Queen of Wands would represent Virgo. If you have been kind of treated, I was going to say like a redheaded stepchild, but if you've been taken for granted, and you look and you see people who came in off the streets like after you, and they're getting ahead of you, and you're like, what's up with that? It could be that you're being taken advantage of, for granted, or something along those lines. Now, it doesn't mean that it is saying anything about you that you're not okay. It can simply mean that you are so indispensable that they would rather have you doing more of the grunt work, because they know that you are very thorough and giving, that's not really fair of me, because, just because people are in positions of authority doesn't mean that they don't do anything, obviously. But sometimes the underlings are the ones who are doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And maybe you're good at doing heavy lifting and they don't want to lose that. because they're not convinced that they could find somebody as productive as you, perhaps. So it could be actually complimentary to you, but it might not feel that way to you. It might feel disrespectful, like they don't appreciate what you bring to the table. And so the Knight of Swords, that's why I was saying, like, the Queen of Swords could be, you have to decide if you're going to stay. Because I think manifestation isn't just wishing on a star and then having it drop in your lap. I think that we have to take the initiative, and even though we're placing an order with the universe, we're still active. We're taking an active role in our manifestations. And maybe you do have a difficult decision to make. But I see like the Knight of Swords as like no holds barred, where you are like, you know, even the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords, they both have this kind of like chaotic energy attached to them, where but it's not, it could be controlled chaos, where they're willing to go out on a limb and do things, you know, that are authentic to them, because they don't want to play along with old rules. They want to be more independent of that. And so that might be something that you end up doing, that you don't feel this need to, you know, be the Girl Scout or the Boy Scout anymore, and just do everything else somebody else says, but you're going to call your own shots to some degree. So in any case, that's what I have for you, Virgo. I hope that this resonated. If you'd like a personal reading, the link is below. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.